Scott Drew is wading through one of the most challenging off seasons of his Baylor tenure, navigating a transfer portal that's drying up quickly and a roster that's essentially starting from scratch. With zero returning scholarship players, Drew is in full rebuild mode, piecing together a new core at a time when quality options are thinning out. It's no longer about landing a program changer. It's about finding contributors who can stabilize the foundation. Enter Divine Ugochukwu, a 6'3" freshman guard out of Miami who's quickly becoming a name to watch. Though his role was modest with the Hurricanes, averaging 5 points, 2 boards, and 2 assists in 20 minutes per game, his upside has caught the attention of multiple high major programs. Baylor was one of the first to make contact, and though the Bears remain in the mix, they now face stiff competition. Texas Tech has surged into the conversation with late momentum, and meetings with Michigan State and USC are also on the agenda as Ugochukwu narrows his options. For Texas Tech, the pursuit is intriguing. Head coach Grant McCasland has built a program identity around relentless defense and high motor players, qualities Ugochukwu doesn't yet consistently display. In the ACC, teams often target him defensively, exposing limitations in his lateral quickness and on-ball awareness. Despite that, he brings tantalizing physical tools, long arms, explosive leaping ability, and the potential to guard up in size. But this is a Red Raiders team that prides itself on being the hunters, not the hunted. To fit in Lubbock, Ugochukwu would need to rapidly elevate his defensive discipline. Offensively, the picture is mixed. He's not a floor spacer. His 17.6% clip from beyond the arc last season confirms that. And while he can handle the ball and make plays, posting a solid 19% assist rate, the accompanying 25% turnover rate raises red flags. Simply put, 1 out of every 4 possessions he initiates ends in a giveaway. That ratio makes it hard to envision him running the offense at a high major level just yet. Still, there's a clear role here for the right team. Ugochukwu isn't stepping into a starting job, not at Baylor, not at Tech, and likely not at any of his other suitors. He wasn't a starter on a Miami squad that struggled mightily last season, and the competition will only get tougher at his next stop. What he offers is athletic depth, years of eligibility, and a ceiling that could be raised in the right system. For Baylor, it's about building a roster from the ground up. For Tech, it's about reinforcing a culture of toughness and development. For Ugochukwu, it's a choice that could define his career arc. Will he find the right fit or be swallowed up by the expectations of the next level? The answer may come in the next few days as a winding recruitment reaches its final stretch. Offensively, Divine Ugochukwu mirrors the rim-attacking instincts of players like Wright, but in a longer, leaner frame. However, that's where the offensive similarities end. Unlike Wright, who compensates for his physical limitations with poise and pace, Divine Ugochukwu is still finding his identity with the ball in his hands. He's not a floor spacer. His perimeter shot remains a liability. And as a primary creator, he still turns the ball over at a rate that undermines his playmaking flashes. And that's where the roster calculus becomes complicated for Baylor. The Bears already have 2 ball-handling guards in J.J. White and Obi Agbim, neither of whom are known for their defensive prowess. Adding a third guard with similar limitations could be risky, especially given the high-level defensive identity Baylor has been trying to reclaim. In fact, when you look closely, the Bears may already have a more refined version of Ugochukwu on the roster. Carr, the Tennessee transfer who sat last year, checks many of the same boxes. Similar size, length, and athleticism, but with more polish and experience. The idea of duplicating that profile, particularly when other roster needs are more pressing, puts Drew in a delicate position. There's also a hometown element that makes this tougher. Ugochukwu is a Texas product, a Sugar Land native who's already competed at the Power Conference level. You don't turn down local talent lightly, especially one with upside. But this is also a numbers game, and Baylor simply may not have the bandwidth or the on-court fit to justify bringing him in, especially when resources, scholarships, and NIL might be better spent addressing other needs. Still, letting him land with a Big 12 rival like Texas Tech would sting. There's history between Drew and Ugochukwu, a connection that runs deeper than a few recruiting calls. Losing a player so close to the program to a defensive-minded opponent that's still shaping its own backcourt would be more than a symbolic loss. It could be a strategic one down the road. As the offseason rebuild continues in Waco, the question surrounding Divine Ugochukwu's next destination has shifted from possibility to practicality, and neither Texas Tech nor Baylor may end up being the ideal landing spot. Texas Tech, for all its late-stage recruiting momentum, might not actually need what Ugochukwu brings. That's not a slight against the player. It's a compliment to the Red Raiders' current roster. Grant McCasland has assembled a team built on defensive toughness and disciplined execution. Unless Ugochukwu makes a rapid leap in his defensive reliability and decision-making, cracking Tech's rotation will be a tall order. On the other side, Baylor's needs are still evolving. Head coach Scott Drew isn't done, far from it. The Bears continue to search for key roster pieces, particularly at the hybrid forward spots, what some call the slash forward roles. Those multi-dimensional wing players, capable of defending multiple positions and contributing on both ends, are increasingly rare this late in the portal cycle. Adding one or two of those is a clear priority. The backcourt still has room for growth too, but any additions must bring defense first. With players like Carr already on the roster and J.J. White and agbim expected to play key roles, Baylor can't afford another guard who's a question mark defensively. So where does Ugochukwu fit? At this point, he's a developmental piece with raw upside rather than a plug-and-play contributor. His athleticism is undeniable, and his ability to finish at the rim brings real value. But if you're Baylor or Tech, you're asking, is that enough? As fans and programs alike wait for the next move, one thing is clear. Both Baylor and Texas Tech are still actively shaping their final rosters. For Ugochukwu, the clock is ticking, and the decision ahead is as much about timing and fit as it is about talent. Let us know where you think he should land and stay tuned, because this offseason battle is far from over.